Hey guys, I wanted to talk about speckles today because I think I finally cracked the code to perfect speckles every time. And if you're a fellow yarn dyer, you might be listening to this and going, Psh, I've known this for years. But if you haven't known it for years, maybe it's new information to you. Or maybe you're a new yarn dyer. Or maybe you just appreciate learning stuff that you'll never need to use. So, first of all, I want to show you an example of not good speckles. Which would be here. And what I mean by not good speckles is you can see how the black bled all over the place and kind of grayed out that blue. You can also see it over here where there's just kind of like yucky color. I mean, I shouldn't say yucky. Even though this is a misfit skein, I love it and I'm going to be using it for a shawl prototype actually. So anyway, I'm going to use it. It's still beautiful. However, it's just not the effect that I wanted. I shouldn't speckle shame. We shouldn't be speckle shaming. But in this particular case, this is not what I wanted. I did not want all that bleediness. So, so this is my No Sleep Till Brooklyn colorway. I probably should have pulled up a better example to show you what the speckles should look like, which is just crisp and black and no bleeding. But whatever. I mean, I guess you could always go to the website or check out the skein that I have in a previous video here. So here is what speckles should look like. Now this colorway was actually, this was going to be my Slimer No Kissing colorway, but I realized that when you look up close, the speckles are very obviously orange, but from a distance, they go back a little bit. They kind of read as red because that orange is so intense. But you can see that the orange hasn't bled all over the place. And you can also see here, okay, so also, by the way, fun fact, this yarn was sort of the inspiration for my Grinch yarn here. This yarn is still damp. I just rinsed it. I went to a party last night and then I came home and finally rinsed the yarn that had been sitting in the oven all night. But you can see also these speckles haven't bled. So the secret to speckles, I think I've discovered, is so first of all, when you put the speckles down on the yarn, I just recently discovered that I like these jars a lot. Like a lot. You can get a bunch of these on Amazon for pretty cheap. It's a little caked up in there. But the lids prevent the air from getting in. And normally I was using these jars. But there's no lid there. And so all the air and moisture can creep in. And that's really not what you want because everything gets chunky and clumpy and weird. So anyway, a good shaker. You put it on yarn that's not soaking wet, but it's got to be kind of wet. Like you don't really want it too dry because once you get the speckles on there, you want it to strike immediately, but you want the particles to kind of like melt in there. I use a mix of, it's usually 1 part of the dye powder to 4 parts citric acid, and I grind them all together in this handy dandy little mortar and pestle. And that's how I do my speckles. But it also helps if you take a piece of aluminum foil. I know some dyers use pans that have lids on them. Everybody has their own dyeing setup. Indie yarn dyeing is such a niche business that I'm pretty sure there's no equipment out there that's like, hey, this is perfect for all your yarn dyeing needs. So if you are in the business of making equipment, maybe that would be a good business venture for you. Because I gotta tell you, I'm real tired of just having 2 racks in an oven, and I need to step up my production game a bit. Anyway, you put the aluminum foil over before you cook it, and by steaming it and keeping all of the moisture in there, it ensures that the bits of citric acid and color absorb all the water and melt into the skein exactly where you want it. So you get these beautiful speckles. And then when you rinse out the yarn, you don't have leftover chunks of dye and citric acid that will bleed all over when you rinse it, like as happened here. So yeah, thanks for coming to my TED Talk on speckles. I hope you found it enlightening and useful, and I hope you're having a wonderful winter solstice. Thanks for watching.